What is going on the right? Genuinely and seriously, what is actually going on the right? Candace Owens is now basically a neo, and now Alex Jones is issuing out a public service announcement to MAGA, letting them know, not even just MAGA, but conservatives all over the West, telling them that Russia is rolling out the red carpet for them to come to Russia to escape wokeism and neoliberal values. I don't know what's going on, but it's entertainment, so we're about to go see what's going on. Alex says this, breaking. Putin just dropped a bombshell decree. See, decree. Look at the language. A single man drops a decree in a country, and these people want to flee to that country. They want a king. Inviting people from across the globe who are fed up with the globalist, neoliberal nightmare to seek sanctuary in traditional Russia. This new decree blows the lid off the establishment's agenda, letting freedom-loving folks bypass the usual bureaucratic nonsense like language tests or history exams. Hold on, let me reread that. This new decree blows the lid off the establishment's agenda, letting freedom-loving folks bypass the usual bureaucratic nonsense like language tests or... Oh, so hold on. Let me get this straight. The same MAGA crowd that amped up the idea that immigrants were poisoning the blood of our country, the same crowd that goes on and on and on about how important it is for immigrants to be able to speak the language and know American history and political structure, these same people who have been yapping and yapping and yapping about that for years, which, to be fair, I also want immigrants coming to this country to have some knowledge of English and also, you know, understand American history just a little bit and just the functioning of our government. Why do these people believe themselves to be above that? You think, and these are the people who call themselves patriots, by the way, because they're convinced that you, liberals, Democrats, progressives, because they believe that you are trying to steal their rights away from them, instead of, let's just entertain a hypothetical. Let's just say the left really was that, you know, malevolent, maniacal, and evil. Let's just say we actually were scheming and plotting to take away their rights. Isn't it really funny how these same people who talk about don't tread on me in 1776 and we gonna turn up, now all of a sudden, they're thinking about packing their bags and hightailing it to Russia? Make that make sense. And haven't y'all learned from the Brittany Griner situation and so many other Americans who go to Russia and end up in a bad spot? How many people do we have to trade in exchange for y'all? How many terrorists do we have to trade in exchange for y'all before y'all realize you should stop going over to Russia? All of you, Democrat, Republican, stop going over there. Alex goes on to say, if you're ready to reject the insane policies of your home countries that push these destructive, anti-human, neoliberal agendas, Russia is rolling out the red carpet. Destructive policies like what? Infrastructure? The PACT Act? Like, what are they upset about? The repealing of Roe v. Wade, our plan to give women their rights back, like our plan to protect LGBTQ people's rights, our plan to make sure religion is not mixed into the law. Like, what is their gripe here? Anti-human? I'm not understanding what's anti-human about like public healthcare. Like, I'm not understanding what's anti-human about like universal healthcare. What's wrong with like? I'm trying to understand what kind of boogeyman these people have created in their own minds that they need to flee to Russia. Seriously. I'm genuinely curious. He says Russia is rolling out the red carpet for these people. The Russian government is about to compile a list of countries poisoning minds with these twisted ideals, and the foreign ministry is gearing up to issue visas to true patriots as soon as September. It's time to stand up for spiritual and moral values. Something ain't right with this. Why would you get up from the United States and go to Russia while they're in a war? A war that's damaging their economy. A war that is possibly going to damage the socioeconomic, you know, balances in Russia. We could see civil unrest. We already see financial decline as a result of sanctions. why would you go to a nation embroiled in the kind of geopolitical issues that Russia has going on right now? Why? Why don't people realize that here's what I think is happening here. I think Russia is looking for new troops. That's what I think is happening. I think Russia is looking for new moronic troops. If you are stupid enough to actually go to Russia because Alex told you Putin has his hand out inviting you, you probably are stupid enough to also fight in Russia's war. This seems like a recruitment ad to me. Russia offers safe haven for people trying to escape Western liberal ideas. Woo, like this is, you can't make this kind of stuff up. You cannot make up these kinds of storylines. Whoever the writer is for humanity, like the story of humanity in 2024, you're doing amazing. Amazing job. Under the document, such foreign nationals will have the right to apply for temporary residence in Russia outside the quota approved by the Russian government and without providing documents confirming their knowledge of the Russian language, Russian history, and basic laws. This sounds way too good to be true. Something ain't right with this. Moscow will provide assistance to any foreigners who want to escape the neoliberal ideas being put forward in their countries and move to Russia, where traditional values reign supreme according to a decree signed by President Vladimir Putin. A decree by a president? What century are we in? Just erase president and put king, okay? Under the document, such foreign nationals will have the right to apply for temporary residence in Russia outside the quota approved by the Russian government and without providing documents confirming their knowledge of the Russian language, Russian history, and basic laws. Again, this offer seems a little bit too nice. I'm not trusting it. Applications may be based on the rejection of their country's policies aimed at imposing destructive neoliberal ideals on people, which run counter to traditional Russian spiritual and moral values. You can't make this up. The values are listed in the foundations of Russia's state policy in this field. While the Russian government is expected to compile a list of countries imposing unhealthy attitudes on their citizens, the Foreign Ministry has been instructed to start issuing 3-month visas to such applicants as early as in September. In February, Putin supported the idea of Italian student Irene Cecchini that Russia should... Is it Cecchini or Cecchini? With those C's and the H's, I gotta get my Italian phonics back together. If you're Italian, correct me. That Russia should ease entry rules for those who share traditional, cultural, and family values. The head of state agreed that each case requires an individual approach. Let's be real here. Do any of you trust what we just read just now? You get to show up with no knowledge of the language. I almost said no language of the knowledge. No knowledge of the language, no history knowledge, and no knowledge of law, and you get to just show up because you share values with Russia. And notice the word used there. Putin issued a decree. A decree. The man's basically literally a king. Do you know how stupid you have to be to pack your bags and leave a nation because of its neoliberal values to go to a nation in which you can barely protest and speak ill of the leader without worrying for your physical safety? To a nation where you can't sit there and say, hey, maybe this war might not be a good idea without you being locked up? That's the nation you want to go to where your gun rights aren't even secure? You want to lead the United States of America to go to Russia? I'm pretty sure Americans did this before and it didn't end well. But this is a reflection of who these people are. They don't care about Western values like democracy and representation in government by elected representatives. They don't believe in, proper rule of law being applied to those in power. They don't believe in any of our values. They don't believe in freedom of speech. They don't believe in freedom of religion. They don't believe in the freedom to date and marry whoever you want. They don't believe in freedom from religion. These people are upset about the fact that they can't push their ideas on you. They can't force you to align yourself and submit with what they want. As a result, they're now being issued, I guess invitations to party by Vlad. And some people are going to accept Because this is the problem with the right nowadays. They think that Russia's our friend because Russia's white, Christian, and conservative. And I have no issue with whites, Christians, or conservatives, or all three together. But let's establish something. The right wing is delusional in thinking they have found a friend in Russia or even Putin because of whiteness, Christianity, and traditional values. You are delusional. You are divorced from every semblance of reality possible. These people are not your friends, and you will end up with less rights than you had living here. You will end up with less rights. And this also highlights the delusion in which these people live. Do I think Alex actually believes what he just said there? Yes, I think Alex has gone off the deep end. I think Alex is divorced from reality. In terms of the people receiving the tweet, I think they're dumb. I think they're dumb. I see people in the comment section like, oh, it's so sad that Putin's our only hope. It's so sad that Putin's our last vestige of hope. These people are divorced from reality. As you are going to cast your ballot in November to secure democracy, freedom, and equality, these people live in an alternate reality created by Jones, Tucker, Owens, and the rest of these Muppets and morons. These folks are in a separate reality in which your defense of everyone's rights is an offense on, I guess, America. Somehow. These people are ignorant to Trump's election plot, his plot to steal the election. These people are ignorant to almost everything he says ever. Y'all saw my debate that I did where I told the guy, hey, remember what Trump said? He didn't say that. He didn't say that, Crenshaw. And then, of course, I fact-checked it because that's what we do. And I proved him wrong. These folks live in a separate reality. They don't want to be... One of the most heartbreaking realities I've had to come to terms with as a result of this like Trump stuff is there are Americans who aren't American. And some of these people fly flags. Some of these people wear flags. Some of these people have served in our military. There are Americans who aren't American. They don't believe in freedom of speech. They pretend to until they have the power. They don't believe in freedom from religion. They pretend to until they have the power to force Christianity on you. They don't believe in freedom for all because they need to stop you from marrying who you want. In terms of not just sexual orientation, but soon to be also race and maybe even religion. These people don't want you to be able to do what you please. These people shame women for not having kids because apparently that's all women are good for in MAGA world. These people literally support a movement that will destroy the cohesion and fabric that ties us together in this country, all in the name of conservative traditional values that the majority of them don't even live by. I see weak, puny men on Twitter talking about the weakness of the modern man because a bunch of dudes couldn't curl 110 pounds. As if that's easy. I can curl 90 pounds right now. If I tried hard enough, 100, I could do it. The average guy, fit or not, is not just doing 110 off the jump. And guess the dude who posted the tweet? Tiny, all squishy. He can't even do it. He's tiny. These people are delusional. They're stuck in this fantasy world of strong, uber masculine men and uber traditional women. Like they're in a movie. They're in a movie. And they want to force all of you to play a part in it. They're crazy, okay? And now, Alex, at the behest of Putin, has now communicated Putin's invitation. Let me tell you something. I'm not leaving this country. The real threat to the United States is Trump. If he wins, I'm not leaving the United States. This is the land of it's not just where I'm from. It's where like possibly 400 years of my ancestry is from. I'm not leaving here because people in power are doing crazy stuff. That's not what Americans do. But like I just told you, there are Americans in this country who aren't American. They want to strip you of your freedom. And if it seems like they can't strip you of your freedom, they'll pack their bags and leave to a nation that dislikes us so they can live out their tradcon fantasy. There are people among us who do not respect the values that make us the nation we are. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Donald Trump being the chief among all of them, he is the king of un-American Americans. There's nothing American in that man. There's just nothing American about him. Nothing American in his body, in his spirit. His mind, nothing. And these people think they're going to go to Russia and be buddy-buddy with them. They're delusional. You know what's funny? A conservative family moved to Russia because of this culture war nonsense. They thought they could move to Russia and have the conservative fantasy they've always wished for. And it didn't really go according to plan. A conservative who moved to Russia with family to escape LGBT ideology now says she hates it because locals don't speak English. I'm gonna let the stupidity just marinate. If you need to protect your brain cells, feel free to just skip ahead in the video. Moment of silence. Okay, we're back. She moved, he or she or whatever, she moved to another country and is upset because the locals don't speak English. What, like, where, what did you, have you made an attempt to try to learn Russian? You just show up in their country and you get upset? And apparently she begs for forgiveness after the Kremlin hears her insults. Look at that. In this country, you could insult Biden all day long and you know nothing will happen to you. But you go over there to Russia and you think you could talk bad about the Russian people as an American and they're not going to pull up on you? I don't know what gave you that idea, but look at this foolishness, bro. Wow. Wow. Oren Feenstra and his wife Anissa moved their family of 10 to Russia a month ago, but the transition quickly went downhill. The funds from their home sale were frozen after Russian officials deemed it to be suspicious, leading Anissa to erupt into an anti-Russian rant. Okay. The YouTubers deleted the clip and insist they have no plans to leave the former Soviet state and are in it for the long haul. Of course you are. These people are stupid. They're genuinely just stupid. You leave the United States, or whatever Western country you're from, to go to Russia. You're upset because they don't speak English. Then you start talking mess about these people. And then the Kremlin finds out and they feel some type of way. They freeze your bank account and then you go on an anti-Russian rant. These people are stupid. They're dummies, momos. I can think of many other words. These people are not smart. Only idiots will accept Putin's invitation. What's more than likely going to happen is these people are going to be funneled into the war. Don't know how, but it's probably going to happen. Russia at this point has broken so many international laws, committed so many crimes. I don't think they care about funneling Americans into the front lines. I don't think they care. And to be honest, the longer this war drags out, the more ethnic Russians they're going to have to throw into the fray. And they don't want to do that. They desperately don't want to do that. And they'll rather send your American ass to get blown up by Ukrainians than to send their own people every single time. I can't even believe what I read. They moved to Russia, get mad because the Russian people don't speak English, and then get all, oh, we apologize to the Kremlin. You wouldn't have to apologize to Washington for talking shit. You know that. You know that. You traded actual freedom for Christian values. You're not an American. You want a theocracy. You want a world where everyone lives like you, and if you don't get it, you'll compromise not only their freedoms, but if you fail to do that, you'll compromise your own, just to be traditional. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. So, for those of you planning to go to Russia, because Alex Jones gave you the invitation from Poo-Poo, Big Putin, give it some thought. Think about it. But I would highly recommend you do not do what Alex Jones has suggested you might do. Yeah, do not go to Russia. Please and thank you. Talking about some Putin has rolled out the red carpet. This MAGA foolishness is driving me crazy. Oh my goodness. At the end of the day, these people have lost their minds. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out.